LYN is a safe place for neighbors and volunteers to really be themselves and to talk about the hard things and to ask the questions that maybe they were embarrassed to ask before.
Today on this nice, cool, windy day, we're going to talk about today the LYN program, what our plans are for the summer as a ministry, and really we're going to go through some of the classes that we're going to be offering later on this year. And Katy, our LYN coordinator, is that right? She's going to be sharing with us today a little bit about LYN and some of those plans. So if you want to introduce yourself.
Yep, I'm Katy Bennett, and I am the LYN coordinator. So LYN is Loving Your Neighbor program coordinator.
So tell us a little bit about the kind of where we were many months ago / year ago, and then just talk a little bit about what the planning process has been and what's kind of led us to our decisions for summer, fall, kind of LYN. Mm-hmm.
So like everybody else, March last year, we totally shut down. We had been meeting in person up until that point for our Bible study that we do sometimes in the winter. And we of course had to close down, but within 2 weeks, we taught ourselves Zoom and taught a bunch of other people Zoom. The students that had never used it, we taught them over the phone. We went to their homes with masks and gloves and helped to program their phones, and we were able to get back on schedule with the Bible study on Zoom. Unfortunately, we of course lost some folks in that didn't have the capability, didn't have the patience, or it just was not going to work for them. So when that was finished, we took a couple months off, and then we came back together on Zoom, and everyone took the Alpha class. And that went a little better. People were more used to it. It wasn't as scary anymore, and we were able to break off into groups. So it was a better than nothing. Sure. Lots of people learned a lot, including me. I always do with the Alpha course. But we all agreed that we couldn't wait to get back together in person. So that ended in November or December. Come January, we were aiming to start again with 2 classes in person and 1 online. But we were watching the COVID numbers, and we get 2 weeks from starting and decide that it's just not going to be safe for us to meet in person, and it was obviously too cold to be outside. So we postponed several times that way. And then again, we were ready to start, and just some other things came up that just made it impossible for us to get going just yet. So our aim at this point is to do a regular, normal LYN session beginning in September. But in the meantime, we've put together a kind of a new laid-back program for the summer where the neighbors, who are our students, will come together 4 separate times for some learning. We're going to use the Bible Project videos, and so we'll show the videos, and then we'll have some discussion time, and they can bring their children. We'll have child care for them, and that sort of thing. But it's going to be laid back. We're going to take a lot of time for fellowship, because there's a lot of catching up to do. The hard part is going to be not hugging.
Yeah. Can you speak to that, the fellowship that the LYN program has offered folks in the past?
Yeah, I mean, we become like a family because it's a safe place. LYN is a safe place for neighbors and volunteers to really be themselves and to talk about the hard things and to ask the questions that maybe they were embarrassed to ask before, and have discussions that with others that understand what they're going through, and they uplift one another. And of course, that's neighbors and volunteers together do that. The playing field is level in LYN, and we miss it. Yeah. I really, as I talk to people on the phone and share what we're doing, everyone is so excited, and I'm getting more and more excited with everybody I talk to. So the volunteers will also get together 4 times, just as a big volunteer group, for some training and teaching the different parts about the other parts. Lots of fellowship, and we're going to try to have fun and just make it something really to look forward to. They really like to serve, so we need to really make them look forward to it, because they're going to be the ones in the seats this time. So and then we'll have 2 times where we'll get the whole group together, so that they can all can see each other again. And we're going to do those outside, and weather permitting.
Yeah, that's volunteers and neighbors.
Volunteers and neighbors, and we're inviting volunteers from a year and a half, 2 years ago.
Sure.
Of course, everybody's a year ago.
Right.
And so we're still formulating what exactly it's going to look like, but it's coming together. And we just know it's going to be good, and we really feel like this is what we're supposed to be doing right now. So it's very exciting.
Good. That's
Yeah.
very exciting, especially with everything warming up and then everything
Eventually.
like that. Eventually, not today. That's why we're going to make this quick. Anyway, so that's awesome. So we've got this going on, and then once we have LYN, you said September, correct?
September is when we're
Roughly.
aiming to start
Sure.
the real deal.
And so what classes are we planning tentatively to be offered then?
Okay. It is going to be a bit of a shortened offerings, but it will cover everybody that needs classes. We'll do financial management, and we're going to have health and wellness, and our new image class. The new image class is going to be mostly people that started it a year ago, starting over, so they can get the whole class in. And the financial management is learning what God says about our finances, what His directives are, and the wisdom that comes with that, and working on, of course, budgets. But it's so much more than that. It's really getting a handle on understanding money and understanding savings and understanding how to make all that work. Another class is the health and wellness, and that's beyond dieting. It's looking at lifestyle and, yes, exercise, so we don't make them exercise in the class. How to get hold of bad habits that are detrimental to health, and learning how to eat properly, how to shop without breaking the budget and getting healthy food. And that class, they really do end up sharing a lot. We've had several people quit smoking during the class, and with the cheerleaders around them,
Absolutely.
Encouraging them and even admonishing them. What do you mean you had a cigarette? And it's oh, sorry,
Yeah,
it's just
exactly.
holding the accountability
Right.
with
That
each
speaks
other,
to
and
the
it's so
safe-
fun.
This speaks to the safe place too.
Yeah, it does.
This is a place that we can all have issues and then help each other through them. And
Yeah, and we want to make sure everyone feels loved and safe from the get-go, from the very beginning, so that when these things come up, I mean, it's a 13-week session, which isn't very long in the whole scheme of life, but we build those relationships early so that the real hard work can be done together as a team. And the other class that will be offered is the new image class, as I said, and that's where all our neighbors that come into the program, they come in through the new image class, and that's where they learn who God says they are. And so often it's not what the world says.
what are some common things that you see people coming in with, like the things that they feel the world has put on them as their identity?
That they're no good, that there's too many things wrong with them. I mean, we can all identify with much of it, but sometimes it's extreme, and just that their worth.
They have
isn't
nothing to
there.
offer the world, that kind of thing.
Right, nothing to offer, and that's very that's very hard to feel like you don't have something to contribute. And of course, not everybody feels that way coming in, but we help them see their talents and their gifts, and we help call out those gifts in them, say, we see this in you. And it's just like Bill and Debbie did with me. They saw leadership in me that I had never seen before. I'm 53 now, so I guess that was 4 years ago. So I was 49, and I had never seen it before, but they saw it and called it out of me, and put me in positions to do that. And that's what we want to do for our neighbors and our volunteers. We get volunteers doing things that they didn't think they could do, and then they love it. So, so that new image is God's value and God's love for each of us.
And that just permeates into every single every single area of life. And that's just that's just so cool. So there's new image. You said financial management, helping neighbors figure out, here's the money I have, here's what I should do with it, what I shouldn't do with it, that kind of thing.
And then, what God says about money.
And what God says about it. Yeah, what it is.
What it's for and what it shouldn't be.
Sure. Exactly. And then the last one you said was?
Health and wellness.
Health and wellness. Okay. Very good. So we didn't prepare for this one, but
curveball.
So connect LYN from when someone initially asks for a need. So maybe just a cursory look through, because I know some people watching might think, I know about the classes, I know about the stores, I know about the donation center, but how the heck do they all fit together? Can you just run me through, it doesn't have to be super detailed or whatever, but say whatever you'd like about it, but what's the process?
So most people come to us with needs, with physical needs, household needs often, that we can help with through the donation center. Sometimes people come to us with financial needs, and we don't offer the financial support, but that gives us an opportunity to see how else we can be of help. So they go through a clearinghouse process. It's an application. It's a one-on-one telephone call application where we learn more about them. They learn more about us. And the information that we glean from that, then Sharon Flory, who is just fantastic, she just knows of all the resources everywhere.
I'm pretty sure she knows 3/4 of every single person in the entire county.
Well, no, it goes beyond the county.
I was going to say in the state, and maybe the East Coast might be a better.
She runs into people like, I think she said even in another country one time. So So and so she's real good about being able to direct people to the needs they have, and that's when they're offered the Loving Your Neighbor program. So after if they're getting some of their physical needs met with the furniture and household goods, it just doesn't end there. They can come to they don't have to come to the program, but we invite them to come to what we call an information meeting that just gives them enough information to make an informed decision about coming to the program. And then if they're game, then we enroll them in the program. Usually the next one that starts, we get them in there in the New Image program. So that's how they get into the program. And then when they've taken all the classes that pertain to them, then they can graduate. And we have a whole graduation ceremony, and it's a lot of fun. Lots of testimonies all through the whole thing. We ask them frequently, what changes have you seen, and help, and then we tell them what changes we've seen, and it's really an amazing process.
Yeah, I can definitely say going to a graduation, even if you don't know anything else about the ministry, that's a really inspiring, really good time. Yeah. Well, what sort of, whether it be physical / volunteer needs do you have going forward in the LYN program? Right
now, we are in need of volunteers that are willing to drive church vans for transportation for this summer and for this fall. With the warmer weather, we can open windows and that sort of thing for the COVID precautions. And the more vans we have, the fewer people on the vans, just to keep everybody safe. So there's that part. We may need some help with children. depending on how many of our volunteers feel safe coming back with the children. And we're always looking for people that want to consider being spiritual friends, and that's more the one-on-one or one-on-two relationship with the neighbors. And it sounds daunting to a lot of people, but we provide the training and the support. And even if you're not quite sure, you like the idea, but it's kind of scary, come learn. Give us a call, learn what it's all about, and what we do to help you through that process. So that's probably our biggest need is of spiritual friends.
Spiritual friends.
Yep.
Spiritual friends. So explain spiritual friends a little deeper. So it's somebody who walks with a student, and what does that walking with look like on what does that look like on a Thursday night or whatever night we're having LAN?
Tuesdays now.
Tuesday night. And what does that look like throughout the week for them?
Okay. On Tuesday nights, it's usually going to class with them, and so learning what they're learning, so that then during the week there can be help with homework, answering questions and talking through things together. Usually by phone. There's not a requirement to get together to do that. And between sessions, the communication continues, usually by phone. And it's just the closest relationship. Usually, you have relationships with the people in your class and with the group at large, but this is a closer relationship where there's spiritual support, there's some emotional support, that kind of thing. But you don't need to be a Bible scholar. That's what a lot of people, I don't know the Bible well enough. And that's just not.
Right. Or I don't have any skills. It's that same mindset that a lot, those worldly mindsets that we think about, or not worldly, but some thoughts that we put in our own heads of, I don't have anything to offer this person because I'm not spiritual enough, or I'm not good enough to help this person. I don't have skills, and everyone has something that they can offer.
Well, you got to think about Moses. He stuttered. Yep. So he said, I can't do this, and God said, yes, you can. Yep. So, so that if that's in your heart, check it out. It could be God calling you.
Yeah. And if you feel like, maybe I want to do that, go on our website, hit volunteer, and Bill Clifton will walk you through that process.
We especially need men. I mean, we need the women too, but we do have a few men in the program, and we won't match a woman with a man. So we need some more men.
Yeah, absolutely.
As well.
Absolutely. Very good. Well, thank you so much for sitting down, talking on this brisk spring, almost summer day. Anyways.
Almost spring.
Almost spring. Yeah, I know, right? Well, thank you so much for doing this.